I'll be making fruit and nut muffins. They're delicious muffins packed with a lot of nutrition and a lot of flavor. And as usual, I'll have the full recipe for you at the end of this video. So let's get started and I'll show you the recipe. For your dry ingredients today, you'll need flour, salt, baking soda, baking powder, and I'm using chia seeds ground up and some wheat bran. And for your liquid ingredients and your flavor ingredients, I'm using buttermilk, avocado oil, applesauce, which cuts down on the amount of oil that you need to use, vanilla, 2 eggs, brown sugar, cranberries, blueberries, and finally some chopped up toasted walnuts. I'll begin by toasting my walnuts, and I have about a cup of walnuts chopped up. And I have them in an 8.5-inch saute pan. And I'll stir them periodically to make sure they're browning evenly and not getting burned. It's been just about 5 minutes. They smell delicious and they're lightly browned. I have about a 1/2 cup of cranberries rinsed, and now I'll slice them in half. You'll need 2 mixing bowls. I'll start with the larger mixing bowl to combine the dry ingredients. I'll start with my chia seeds, and I have about a little less than 1/3 cup here of the seeds. And I'll use my coffee grinder that I keep specifically for grinding up seeds for my baking. I just flip it in the top of the grinder, pour it in my 1 cup measuring cup, and it comes to, I don't know if you can see that, about 3/4 cup, so I'll just top that off with flour. Level it off and put that right into my mixing bowl. Now I'll add another 1/2 cup of flour. Right into the bowl. Now I'll add my wheat bran, a 1/2 cup. Right into the bowl. Now I'll add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Oops, kind of made a mess there. And a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And I'll whisk those all together. In the smaller bowl, we'll whisk together 2 eggs. And I like to put my eggs on a little kitchen cloth. When I don't, which I just didn't, the eggs tend to roll around on the countertop and fall on the floor. So I'll whisk these together. Measure out a 1/4 cup of oil. Today I'm using the avocado oil. And I like to get down right at eye level when I measure liquid ingredients like this. Add the oil to the egg mixture. Now I'll add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'll use my same measuring cup and measure out 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk. Add that to my bowl. Now I'll add 4 ounces of applesauce. I'll add my brown sugar, and I'm just simply have my 1/3 cup, and I'm packing it in using the outside of the bag. And I'll use my whisk again and whisk those wet ingredients all together. And even though the brown sugar is not a wet ingredient, I like to put it in the wet ingredients so it dissolves really nicely. Now I'll add my wet ingredients to my dry. Pour it right in there. And I'll use my rubber spatula to just kind of fold the wet into the dry. I have 1 cup of frozen blueberries. Add those in. And I'll add my cranberries that I chopped earlier. And I'll add my walnuts. And I'll fold that all together. You don't want to overmix this at this point. Just incorporate your fruit and the nuts into the batter. Now that the batter is combined, you can either fill your muffin tin up right away, or you can let the batter sit for about an hour. I find that it makes the muffins rise just a little bit more. My batter's been resting for about an hour. I've sprayed the pan with non-stick cooking spray. Now I'll divide the batter into 12 muffins. There you have it, fruit and nut muffins. They're delicious, nutritious, and they freeze really well. They're perfect for breakfast or a late night snack with maybe a cup of tea. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.